In the spring of next year, 4,000 low-income Ontarians will receive their last check as participants of Ontario's Basic Income Pilot. The program was set to run for 3 years, but was cancelled. It was a program the Tories promised to keep during their election campaign, but later scrapped when they took power. I traveled to Thunder Bay, one of the 3 cities included in the pilot, to see how people are coping ahead of the holidays.
Nice way to wear your bag, dude. Cool. I like it. Here, hop in. Did they lock us out?
You wouldn't know it from his infectious laugh, but Benjamin Murray is stressed out these days. He's not the only one. He and his family are among the 4,000 participants in the Ontario Basic Income Pilot.
Everyone I speak to, it's just been this because this weight's lifted, you know? Like you're on this fixed income and you're struggling to pay rent every month and no one's taking you seriously, the banks don't take you seriously, the government doesn't take you seriously. You're seen as this leech on society, and then literally overnight you're over to the poverty line.
The 3-year pilot program for low-income Ontarians, introduced by the previous Liberal government, will end a year earlier than planned.
It wasn't long enough to open that door and be able to actually get halfway there. Like you're almost there and then it was taken away.
With a price tag of $150 million, Premier Doug Ford canceled the program, calling it too expensive, and said the best way out of poverty is to get a job.
Let's get some light in here. You know, I had a bit of a breakdown, and I can imagine the feeling the same for a lot of people. And just to hear the solution to poverty is a job, I'm sorry, but I lost my job because I was suffering from the effects of poverty.
Thunder Bay is one of 3 cities included in the pilot. About 1,000 residents here were part of the program.
This kid's got rhythm, he can really sing.
Like some of the participants, Benjamin and his wife Kayla are diagnosed with conditions that you can't see with the naked eye.
We have people that make judgments on us and pass judgment on us that don't really understand because it's an invisible illness and we look fine from the outside.
Kayla suffers from Crohn's disease, and Benjamin has primary spontaneous pneumothorax, a condition that affects his lungs.
Because the blebs are these air bubbles that form on the outside of the lung cavity, and when they pop, it makes the lung go down, the pressure difference basically. So I had 47 collapses. I only documented maybe 10 of them.
For Kanina Nawagijak, it was her mental health. She had to overcome a lot during her childhood. At the age of 17, she became a mother and dropped out of high school and forced to take shift work at a Tim Hortons. She started to use drugs and was in and out of rehab, and ultimately made the decision to quit work.
It was disgusting. When I did go on Ontario Works, I got a $400 check. What is that going to do for my son and I? I was an addict for most of his life, and I had no support, so I needed to really rebuild this relationship.
The pilot gave individuals $17,000 a year and about $24,000 a year for couples. The amount would decrease by 50 cents for every dollar someone made through work. Researchers were looking at whether the basic income met their needs and improved their lives and overall health.
It's everybody has setbacks, but I feel like people that don't have that extra little bit of money doesn't buy you happiness, but it does give you a chance.
A place to call home. It's all relatively new for Joshua Hewitt.
I actually lived in and out of homelessness for 8 years here in Thunder Bay. I experienced addictions for about 10 years that contributed to that situation.
He lives on the 3rd floor of an old home in the city's West End. He has the shed and even a rear parking spot. But without the basic income program, even this would have been out of reach.
I get a really good deal, actually. Technically, I only pay $500 a month to live here. When I got Ontario Works, I got $788. So if I pay $500, I only have $200 to do my rest of the month. I got to buy a bus pass. That's $40. or $45, sorry. Then I got to buy food, and I got to pay my phone bill every month. And how can I do that off of $780?
With the program ending earlier than scheduled, families like Benjamin's are actually in a bigger hole than before. He was encouraged to upgrade their existing car, one that was costing them more in repairs than it was even worth.
So we have this 27% interest rate on a $13,000 vehicle. We're paying $30,000 at the end of the whole term. So it's and we're stuck in that for another 2 years, and the program ends in March. So that's been a major stressor.
The cancellation also meant any opportunities to go back to school were put on pause, and any chances of building new skills were squashed.
I wanted to create my own opportunity, and I realized that I was slugging it out between two jobs trying to make ends meet, and it just wasn't happening.
But that changed when he got the basic income pilot. He was able to concentrate on his organization Stand Up for Cleanup.
We've got pylons, safety vests, everything you would need to do a community cleanup. So, just being part of something is a tremendous way to make people make a positive impact in their personal lives and to give them a reason, to give them hope to change.
Both Joshua and Benjamin say they have been given an opportunity through the pilot to be a part of the community rather than a burden. Benjamin is a hip-hop artist and goes by the name Plan B Strike 9. He also works as a youth facilitator in Northern First Nations communities. He's come a long way. Before he had his kids, Benjamin was in and out of rehab. He started smoking marijuana at the age of 8, cocaine at 15, and opioids shortly after. And he talks openly about his struggles through his music.
Yeah, I hurt a lot of people and did a lot of damage in my community, and that's basically why I've been focused on bettering and making sure no kids end up going down the same path.
Benjamin hopes to have a recreation center and studio in Thunder Bay for youth in the region. Both Joshua and Benjamin were honored by the city of Thunder Bay for their work in the community. But when news hit that the basic income would be winding down, Joshua organized a meeting with fellow participants in hopes of getting the program reinstated.
People were calling us degenerates, saying that we're leeching off the system, that we're destroying the middle class and what people have worked for. Well, what about what we've worked for? Most of us have struggled our whole lives with mental health and addictions. We've had to work on that every single day. Why is that investment not worthwhile?
The city of Thunder Bay joined 3 other communities in calling for the federal government to take over the pilot. And in January, the province's cancellation of the pilot will go to court, where a class action lawsuit may be filed.
The Agenda with Steve Paikin is brought to you by the Chartered Professional Accountants of Ontario, helping businesses stay on the right side of change with strategic thinking, insightful decisions, and business leadership. Are you on the right side of change? Ask an Ontario CPA.